Well, good morning, everybody. A couple of quick questions for you. Are you finding yourself in daily arguments and power struggles with your children? And do you find that your children are ignoring your requests when you're asking them to do something and they're kind of running around in circles, disrespecting you, and you're at the end of the day pulling your hair out because you feel like you've tried everything to get your kids to listen to you, but nothing's working? Well, in my experience, and I've been dealing with this type of behavior myself for more than 18 years. My oldest son is now 19, and he's been a little hell on wheels ever since he was just little, diagnosed with ADHD by the time he was in grade 3. And I also had 3 other children after him that were all basically, well, they weren't doing the exact same things. They had different issues. They handled things differently. A couple of them were just, not happy, experiencing a lot of anxiety. 3 were diagnosed with ADHD, and my youngest with ADHD and oppositional defiant disorder. My name is Bonnie Leota, and I search for answers, do diligently, regularly, committedly, because I just knew that something had to be off the mark. You see, I've been a personal development coach for a little almost 15 years. I was going to say a little over a decade, studying personal development for a little more than 20 years. When my friends were all off and they were playing and partying all the time, I was working and studying and learning and building businesses. And my main desire for about 20 years now has been to find a way to help all children discover their greatness. Hi, Terry. Thanks for being here. Hi, Holly. Is to help all children discover their greatness by the time they are 12 years old, because it took me over a decade of consistent feeding my brain with good, positive stuff to even begin to believe in myself. Because I had been, probably like you as well, you can probably relate to this as well. But I had been very disempowered as a child, no fault to my mother. My mother loved me. She did the best she could with what she had. I've gone through the history of parenting on another video, but my point is that when my kids were going through all of this and the doctors were telling me there was something wrong and that I was going to need to medicate, my mind was going, no, something is not right about this. Something's off the mark, because what I had learned and what I had been teaching and studying is that we're all born with great, pure potential to be, do, and have anything that our little hearts would desire. But I was taught that if I didn't do this or if I did things a certain way, that I was going to be a failure for my whole life. And that's not true. It's not true, and I know it's not true because I changed my life. So when I decided to become a mom, my whole thought pattern was maybe terrible 2s and horrific 3s and teenage rebellion isn't even real. Like when I have kids, I'm going to listen to them and I'm going to talk to them and I'm going to make sure that they know that they're special and that they're loved and that they're capable. And I'm going to give my kids the life that I always wanted. I'm going to give them an easier life. It backfired on me, as I'm sure you're experiencing very similar things. I mean, we've coached hundreds of parents. We have clients in over 100 countries right now. We get emails every single day. We're the only success story for ADHD and oppositional defiant disorder online on YouTube. You can't find anybody else. So my thing is that Einstein says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And so I launched this ADHD and oppositional defiant group page, non-medication, not because we're against medication, but because medication's not the answer to heal our children. And to think that it is would be like, oh, I'm not doing really good in my life. I'm going to go get drunk this weekend and make myself feel better. But then come Monday, those problems still exist. So what I mean is we can medicate our children and they will change their behavior. But at the end of the day, what's actually going to be teaching them respect and self-control control and self-discipline. And, what is our role as a parent? Because when you think about that, what's the first thing that comes to mind? What is your role as a parent? If somebody would love to interact with me, I've got a few of you here live. I'm not sure who all here is live, but if you are here live, what is your role as a parent? How do you describe your role as a parent? And I know that there's a little bit of a lag here in between actually me talking and you hearing, so I'm going to give you a moment. Okay, thank you so much, Holly, for sharing the video. This is so awesome. All right, so I'm going to wait for what is your role as a parent. You can just type in there what is the first thing that comes to your mind. And then I'm going to finish the story of my huge aha moment and the transitional time, everything kind of comes to a point or it comes to a head and it needs to change. And so the awareness of the point where I said, oh my gosh, I have been messing up here as a mom and something needs to change. Still waiting to raise responsible, well-rounded young people. Awesome. And then, okay, so that's a good answer. There's probably more. There's other people. Okay, so while you're typing in your answer, I'll share with you my answer. My answer was, to make them happy? Oh, no, that's not it. To buy them things, to protect them? Oh, no, that's not it. To guide and teach and model all good skills they need to succeed in life. Yes. To guide and teach and model all good skills they need to succeed in life. Do you guys think that we need self-control in order to be successful in life? Do you think we might need to develop something called focus in order to win at anything in life? How about the ability to persist through obstacles and situations like adversities, because they're always going to happen? Like, you might be sitting there right now going, oh, I'm a mom. I would love to have cooperative, happy, healthy kids who worked with me in harmony. See, that's called a goal. And so when your kids are wanting things like cell phones or iPads or things like this, that's also the same thing. That's an idea. That's called a goal. And so when I had made the decision to give my kids a good life, a happy life, an easy life, I also thought that it was my responsibility every single time they asked for something to go get it, go find it, be their servant, be their maid, be their chauffeur, and all these things. Now, this is Tips Tuesday. So before you're done with this video today, I'm going to give you a really great tip that you can begin to focus on today in order to see change in your world with your kids. But I wanted to give you a little bit of a backstory so you kind of know who I am and what I've been dealing with and how we came to the conclusion that behavior disorders are nothing more than missing life skills. And I know that's quite a profound statement, and if you've been taught otherwise, which we've all been taught otherwise, you might be sitting there a little bit ticked at me. Well, that's the risk that I'm willing to take, and, if you don't like hearing that your kids are healthy and they actually just need life skills and there is a way to motivate them and teach them, then, you're in the wrong group or you're on the wrong fan page, because we're all here about solution-oriented. We're here to show you that your kids are actually healthy, normal kids, but that they need something. There's something missing in their life. You see, so I'm going to teach you today how to basically stop the power struggle before it even starts. Because the worst question that you can ask is, hey, my kid's been screaming for an hour in the corner. What do I do now? Well, now we just got to wait it out. We got to let them cry it out, just like babies cry it out when they learn how to sleep, right? You got to let them cry it out, because if a baby or a kid, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 years old, starts crying and you feel like your job as a mom is to comfort them and make sure that they know that you love them rather than actually give them the life skill, then they're always going to think that crying is going to get attention, or crying and temper tantruming is going to get them their own way. They've learned that as a life skill somewhere along the way. And so to go back just a little bit, my kids would say, I want this, and I would feel so responsible to either say yes or no. I would If I gave it to them, they'd be like happy for a minute or an hour or a day, but then they'd be right back to asking for things and crying and whining to get what they want. I know that you can relate with what I'm talking about. If you can relate with what I'm talking about, just give me like a little like on the video. Also, Facebook likes it when you guys click like on the video, and they actually help more people see the video. So that's a really good thing. All right, so if we're solely responsible for giving our children everything that they ask for to make sure that they're happy and give them a good life, how are they ever going to learn to make things show up on their own? Right? And so here's my aha moment. And here we get into the tip for today. My aha moment is when Thomas, who is now my husband, I'm going to introduce you guys to him really, really soon. But when he was at my house helping me build a workshop and we were doing some work on the computer, my kids would have me running from room to room to room to room. I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, so-and-so's hitting me, I need clothes, where's the towel, I can't find the you know what I'm talking about. All right, so they were doing this kind of thing, and Zachary says, Mom, I'm thirsty. And I come running to his rescue thinking I'm this great mom, I'm the best mom in the world, I'm always there for my kids, help them and all this stuff. And I come running out to get him some juice or whatever he wanted to quench his thirst. And Tom sent me on an errand. He's like, Bonnie, I need you to go to the office and get me my notepad or whatever. He sent me on a wild goose chase, basically. And when I came back 3 or 4 minutes later, Zachary, who used to scream for an hour and a half from the bathroom, come wipe my bum, because that always worked. After a while, we would just give in. Zachary is standing there at the kitchen counter, and he's got this huge, the cat that ate the canary kind of face going on. And I'm thinking, well, what the heck's going on in here? And Tom goes, guess who made the juice? Oh, did Zachary make the juice? Yep. Show Mom how you made the juice. And then he showed me the can, and he showed me how he pulled the little tabby thing off. And Tom kind of gave him a little hint, turns the can. He goes, what do you think we could pull, do you think we get the can open? And Zach's like, oh, you pull on this little thing here. And Tom was like, oh, pull on the thing there. And he did it himself, and he popped the top off, and then he goes, now where does the juice go? And he takes the can of juice, he pours it into the thing, and goes, how much water do we need? Do you know how much water we need? Let's read the instructions. And so they began to read the instructions. Zach, of course, 3 cans of water into the juice, so he puts the 3 cans of waters in there, stirred it up, and voila, he made his own juice for the first time in his life. And I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't even think to teach my son how to make juice. And the truth was, I hadn't taught my son how to do anything on his own. I had been there for him, cleaned up after him, wiped his butt till he was 6 years old. It's so embarrassing to say, but, I fell for the trap. And so my aha moment started clicking in my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to start teaching some things. And oh my gosh, well, how do you motivate them? And so here brings us to the tip for today. And this is what you're going to be able to use to move forward. You're going to be able to use it with your kids today, whether they're 2, 3, 5, 15, 25, however old. You're going to be able to use this tip with them today and see a definite difference in their behavior. And when they do, I'm going to encourage you, go to learntospeakkid.com, get our free ebook, begin to dive in and give it all that you've got. And for those that really see the aha moment, get the audio series too, because listening to the audio over and 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 over is going to instill this in your mind. It's our job to give our kids the life skills to be successful in life. I would write that down somewhere. Our job is to give our kids the life skills to be successful in life. And so here's the thing, you guys. Our kids are always going to want something. You can start right now. I'm not saying take anything away or anything like that. We don't ever take anything away here at Creating Champions for Life. If a child has earned it, they have it. It's theirs. It's not your right to take it away. However, it is our job, our role as a parent, to create an environment that will actually encourage our children to step up their game and to be motivated to learn life skills. If you agree, please give me likes, hearts, something, if you agree with that. Our job is to give them life skills. I was slow to start teaching Colin, but butt wiping too. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, we're on the same page. I think it's kind of like an epidemic, right? Okay. So our kids are going to want something. They're going to be asking for things all the time. Mom, I want juice. I want yogurt. I want a cookie. I want to go play with my friends, ride a bike, watch TV. All of these things, is it our job to actually give them these things, respond to their every whim, or is it our job to teach them how to get those things on their own, how you can always have freedom? Because this is a trap. Nope, you didn't do your homework, so you can't go play with your friends. All right? Or, nope, look at the living room. It's a mess. It's messy, so nope, you don't get your yogurt or whatever it is. We're kind of like, well, because you didn't do this, you don't get that. And the thing is that, and write this down because it's huge awareness, all right? But our kids don't understand negative sentences. You didn't get this, so you don't get that. So here's tip number 1. Always agree with your child. It's 5 minutes before dinner. Mommy, I want a cookie. Awesome. I would love for you to have a cookie. What time's dinner? How soon is dinner? When's the best time to eat a cookie? So now you're validating. You're not going, no, dinner's in 5 minutes, so you can't have a cookie. Because all that child will hear is, I want something that's important to me. You've just said no, shot me down, and I'm hurt now, and I'm going to cry and temper tantrum, and I'm going to hate you because you are standing in my way of that bloody cookie, okay? That's what happens when you stand in the way of the cookie without actually telling them what to do to get the cookie. Make sense? Okay, so it's 5 minutes before dinner. Mommy, I want a cookie. Oh, I would love for you to have a cookie. As soon as you as soon as you finish eating dinner and put your dishes in the dishwasher, you may have a cookie. Okay, that's better than saying, yes, here you go, or no, you didn't have dinner yet, so no, you can't have a cookie, which is completely controlling for that little spirit who all he wants is a cookie. They don't understand nutrition. They don't understand, well, it's my job to keep you healthy. They don't understand any of that, and it's not really. Our job is to teach them how to be healthier, right? That makes sense, yes? Okay, so Mommy, I want to go play with my friends, and you've been asking them for 3 days to clean up their room. You are going to say, I would love for you to play with your friends. Of course you can play with your friends. What does your room need to look like in order for that to happen? See, our children can really have anything that they want. They can create it themselves. They can trade it. They can earn it. They can make things happen. So that means that you never, ever, ever, Mom, have to be in a position to say no to your child. Not saying to say yes and give them the cookie either, because your job is to create the environment. All right, so what was tip number 1? Validate what your child wants or what's important to them. You're at Walmart. Mommy, I want a new car. Or I want a toy. Mommy, I want a toy. All right, as soon as you say, no, we can't afford the toy, the child, all he hears is, no, I can't have a toy. And again, you're my enemy and you're standing in the way of what I want and what's important to me. If you were to say something like, oh my gosh, tell me what you like about the toy. Which one in particular did you want? What would you do with the toy when we bring it home? Who can you see that toy hanging out with, You're validating, you're engaging. Your child feels like, oh, I said something and look it, I'm all important stuff. And if you were to tell your child, I will help you get that car, that toy, that doll, whatever it is. I will help you get that, whatever it is, for the next time we come. Right? Or, I really want you to have that too. Did you bring money? How are you going to buy the toy? And then we begin to teach them about what money is and how to earn things, because a child cannot see the world in the same way you do, right? They can't fast forward till they're 30 or 35 and know how hard it is to clean a house or how hard you have to work at your job to buy a toy. They don't understand any of that. They're little. As Dr. John Locke said in the 17th century, he said, oh gosh, this is so good. He said, the idea that we've been working with for the last 2,000 years about children is completely off the mark because the Catholic Church had taught society that children were born sinful and they needed to have the sin beat out of them by the time they were an adult because they cry. Because crying is a negative emotion, which means it's a sin, which means that they're born sinful and we need to discipline them. So this is the idea we've been working with in our subconscious mind, deep in our DNA. We believe that little babies are defiant when they take a glass and they bang on a glass table, or when they find their outside voice and they start screaming at the top of their lungs. We think like it's a behavior thing, like they're being bad. Like, no, we don't do that, you know. No, I said no yelling, right? But if you were to just validate the yelling, like, oh my, look at you, you found your outside voice. That's awesome. So every time we want to yell like that, we're going to go do it outside. I don't care if they're 15 months old or 2 years old. When they're doing this, they will get it. They understand what you're saying. They understand positive. They understand validation. They understand desire and what it means to desire. That's why all babies learn to walk, right? Because if we, as, you know, moms, you know, oh, I need a towel, I'm going to go run and get it. Oh, I'm thirsty. Oh, I'm going to get you some juice. Oh, I need to walk. If a baby never desired to walk, it would never have to. It was like we would just do everything for them and run around. Baby never learned to walk. But see, every baby learns to walk because you walk. And they want to be like you. And so when they see the bigger people in their life, the two-leggers walking around, it gives them an inner desire to go. Now, when our babies are learning to walk, we validate that all the time, don't we? Oh, get up. Oh, look at you. You're so awesome. Take a step. Come see mommy. I know you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And for like 2 weeks, all we do is we just encourage that child and we stand there and we teach them and we help them learn how to walk. But when it comes time to tell your 3-year-old, maybe you go to a restaurant and your 3-year-old's running all over the place. When it comes time for that, did we actually take the time to teach them how to sit on a chair in a restaurant before we started telling them, no, we don't run around the restaurant. No, sit down. We start dictating to them, right? Sit down or else, right? Or you're not going to get this. We dictate, we distract, we bribe our children. All of these parenting advice that's been taught to us for the last 85 years is creating our children to be completely off the mark. And they are letting us know, just like an ambulance knows, woo, 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 hey, I'm coming down the street. There's an emergency. Get out of my way. Our children are going, ah, at the age of 10 and 13 and 15 because they haven't learned how to get what they want, what's important to them in any other way. That is a fact. I would stake my life on it, that if you choose, if you just today, your child says, I want blank, you're going to say, I would love for you to have blank. Tell me about what it is that, you know, about that you like. Wow, I really like blah, 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 blah. Great. And so if I shared a plan with you, when all the toys are cleaned up, when your room looks as good as the living room, when the rest of your room looks as good as your bed, when all of the toys are picked up off the floor and put in the toy box, you see, I am describing with words a plan, an exact plan that would help your child get exactly what's important to them, but in a positive, proactive, solution-oriented way rather than a dictation or threatening to punish kind of way. If that makes sense, let me know. Give me a comment or click a little like thing or something like that. Before your program, we spent so much money on a therapist who told us to not to ask child questions, just statements. What a waste of time and money. Yeah, because the truth is, you guys, therapists have never ever worked with children. in this way. Like, they've never worked with children in a positive way. They haven't taken the time to sit a child in a chair for 5 seconds at a time, 10 seconds at a time, 30 seconds at a time. They don't take the time to go restaurant practice training at home. Hey, we're going to do some restaurant training today. Mommy, I want to go play with my friend. I would love for you to go play with your friend. There's the fuel. There's the motivator. That's their desire. That's what's going to get them, that's what's going to get them off their butt to engage in what's important to you. You can go play with your friends as soon as we do 10 minutes of restaurant training time. This is how we sit in a chair. This is what sitting a chair properly at a restaurant will actually earn you. Because you guys, truthfully, television, Wi-Fi, iPads, cell phones, heck, hot water, ice cream, all a privilege, all privileges, okay? These are all privileges that your child not only can earn, but like should earn, right? Your child should be earning privileges, just like you do, just like I do. Because if, let's say that all of the wildlife out there said one day, I'm just going to give my kids a good life and an easy life. And so when I have my cubs, I'm just going to go hunt for them. I'm not going to teach them anything. I'm going to hunt for them, deliver them, get their clothes. I'm going to just plan everything, lay everything out, make life as easy as I possibly can for my little bear cubs. All right. Now, the bear cub grows up a year or two. I don't know how old a bear needs to be an adult. But the bear grows up, becomes an adult, and then doesn't know how to do anything, so sits in a corner, totally ungrateful because he's had to have everything kind of given to him his whole life, been told what to do, when to do it, where to go, when to do it, doesn't have to think or anything, just sits in this corner waiting for Mama Bear to bring him his grub. What would happen to all the wildlife if that's what they decided to do as their role as a parent? Somebody got to answer me. Somebody got to answer me in the comment section below. I love interacting with you guys. This makes so much sense, doesn't it? Doesn't it really? Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go over the formula again. I'm going to end the video, and we'll be back next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for Parenting Tips Tuesday. All right. So number one, your child's going to ask for something. You're not going to bring up anything at all about the toys, what you want your child to do, anything, whatever. If it's lunchtime and they're hungry and you've got a motivator, they're asking for lunch, perfect time. Their gas tank's full. I'm so happy you asked for that. Absolutely. Lunch will be ready as soon as you do blank. Okay? So you're validating, you're agreeing, you're explaining the offer, right? And now if you get any kind of backlash or whatever with that statement, then you kind of repeat the process. Agree with them. I know it sucks, right? But now you're learning to be a big boy or a big girl. And big girls, they learn to clean up, because otherwise your kids make a mess and then they leave to go do something and you clean it up, bitching about it the whole time, right? You clean it up, blah, 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 blah. And then they come back and they're like in a fantasy land where it must be magic. My toys are all put away. And now they're like demanding I want to go play with my friends. And you know what I mean? Okay, so validate, explain the offer, and, put it in the responsibility of your child. Get any complaining, whining, validate that too. Re-explain the offer, do it again. Asking questions engages our children's minds and helps them learn to be independent thinkers. Our globe is missing independent thinkers in today's world. We need more of them. If we're going to survive the next 100 years, we need more independent thinkers. Ask your children questions. They love being asked questions, and maybe we'll talk about that next Tuesday because I'm out of time. Thank you so much for all of you who joined me here live. Thank you, Holly, for sharing out my video a couple times. I saw that. I'd love to know what you guys would love to know. Ask me some questions. I'll get to them very, very soon. Have a great day. Bye for now.